So we had a little bit of a taste of our alchemy crafting adventure before, but I think it's time to get things in full production, because I see what's happening on the title screen and I want it. But of course we gotta start from basics, including buying the land that we should have had before, but now we do. And then we research the table saw, along with all the other things like the grinder, storage box, and conveyor belt, so we can actually start to get things set up properly. Add some logs to this, set up one grinder here, but we're gonna need a few of them to get this working efficiently. And then the storage box can go kinda like this, and then it all gets connected with conveyor belts. So already we have it in place to make large wooden gears, and it all fits conveniently on this little table, which I really appreciate. Oh, and there's just a hotkey for taking everything in here. I like that idea. 10 large wooden gears. Although the quest that we have to do is submit 20 of them. So we let this cook for a little bit longer, and there's 15 more. So immediately we have the first alchemy assignment done, which rewards us with some money and flax. I like the idea. And we can buy flax seeds and limestone, because next we have to submit linen rope. But first things first, purchase some limestone, and then research the things to process all of that goodness, like the stone crusher. Sounds like a wrestler name, like bone saw. But then that all goes into a processor, and there's a seed plot so we can actually plant those flax seeds. And now we can actually research some products to make, like mortars and linen threads. Sure, why not? And small wooden gears. Just get everything researched. Meanwhile, we can set up that crusher assembly. Although it looks like we need a little more large wooden gears to make that happen, so give me this. That's 45 more large gears. Oh, that's so good. So that goes there, and then limestones go inside. Or on top, I guess. And then it all goes through a processor, which is kinda chunky, but thankfully we can just mirror it, and that should work well enough. Also all going to a box. Oh, and then we also gotta set the recipe for the processor. That would certainly help. And then once these things get enough stone, which should happen soon, there we go. Now they're processing, which, whoa, does weird things to the icon. But there's our first mortar, so that's working well. Now we can get some flax seeds. Might as well just do the 3s again.
How are you?
Hi there. Nice duds. And then we build a seed plot, but we need more just basic stones for that. So I guess we're stealing from production a little bit. So we have 8, and then we can place one down, put it right here, plant some flax seeds, and there we go. In a little bit, we'll have some flax. Now, of course, all this costs money, so we set up the things to sell. Set this to a mortar to sell, and then, whoop, we need to actually grab the mortars. That would help. Take all that's in there, 4 of them. Well, you gotta start somewhere. And I guess we have enough large wooden gears, but the mortars, wow, they sell for a lot more. Well, since we have a pretty steady production of these, might as well sell them. And it's already getting dark out. It took all day to set this up. But thankfully, it looks like we do have customers in the store. And I see the crazy hair has not changed. Well, we can sell all that for $2.52, and that's tutorial. So we are cut free from our vines or something. Although we still have to make rope, and the flax has not finished yet. I did buy 3 seeds, so might as well set up more little growing plots. And just gotta make sure the shelves stay restocked. Which also, what's going on in here? Oh, this is like a full-on store. Rotten logs. What? Wow, there's a lot more since last time I played. Amazing. Now we should probably research the linen rope so we can actually make it, which requires making linen threads also, which is also at the processor. So let's get a linen table set up, although I should be able to just copy, oop, customers are waiting. Ooh, 3 mortars, thank you very much. Wow, they fly quick. As I was saying, I should be able to just copy all of these in a line. So we pick these 3 and then probably the conveyors that connect to it or lead from it. And just like that, oh, we need a lot more planks. Well, at least it seems like the plank production is faster than everything else. So just like that, we have all of them. Although we gotta change the recipe, which it actually looks like we're gonna need 2 sets of processors for all of this. Oh, and that's the first day done. And our expenses very easily outpace the earnings. Well, it's good to know the flow of business doesn't rely on dawn or dusk. Ooh, and the flax is made up. Yes. Now, the sucky thing is the flax isn't quite automated entirely, so we still have to buy new seeds. But once we do have flax, we can, of course, we need more planks, but we can set up a box to lead from having flax in it, which do we... Hold on, there's a step we're missing here. Do we have to grind up the flax? It's been a while, all right, I forgot about this. Because we have raw flax here, and mash sure enough is needed to be at a grinder, which of course needs even more planks. And should also remember that there are upgrades that we can get, which I hope includes, whoops, I didn't mean to buy that, but we do have points we can allocate, so is somewhere in here the automated checkout? Or is that here? Well, I don't remember where it is, but it doesn't seem like it's in here anywhere. So let's just make our factories more efficient because my goodness, that takes a while. And logistics. So already our machines are running faster, excellent. But it does look like our logs are running low. I feel like we're gonna need a separate log table saw thing just for planks. But at least we can do this, kind of. It's very congested. Thankfully, all of these can just be scooted down like so. And let's just get this table saw set up right now. Of course we gotta move it. There we go. Now we have a production purely for planks. We're probably gonna need one for also stones, but we don't talk about that yet. Now we should have enough planks to set up all of these productions, and they could just go, you know, elsewhere. Which, this will make linen thread, but then they do gotta go through the processor one more time to make linen rope, and 2 of them at a time. So I feel like we just have a processor at the end of the table here. Now we just set the flax in there, and away it goes, thankfully moving very quickly. And the grinder is just kicking them out, so that's good to see. But I guess they also need to end up somewhere. And there we go, linen ropes, yes! And with this thing constantly turning, it should be a pretty good rate of production, which it looks like it is. So we can just let that cook and then maybe, excuse me, sir, maybe think about how else we can set this up or what else we need. What else can we research? A large storage box? That would be good, but it looks like we need to be alchemy level 3 to get anything else. So we really need those ropes. We got 14 so far, that's a good rate. And this large box here would actually work better for the flax, I think, because those stacks of 200 per harvest fill up pretty quickly. So let's just delete this and then put in the large one, which I think we can reorganize to be better. We could do it like this, but we need, are those large gears? Or is those small gears? Those are small wooden gears. Oh, great. Which are made at a grinder. I guess there's also quests that we can fulfill for more money. But let's get a few more grinders set up for small gear production. And then we copy all of this to get the large gears going through processors, because that's what it is, not grinders. We don't talk about it. And there we go, small gear production, which thankfully doesn't look like it takes very long, and we make a lot at a time. Thankfully, I don't think we need too many to make the large box. So that can just go up like this. That looks good. And then we can just dump all the flax in there, much better. And it looks like our limestone just ran out. So there's another thing to keep in mind. Oh, we don't have enough currency. Even better, especially because mortars are like our entire basis of income. But with this rope here, that is enough ropes, yes. And that quest solves our money problems for a little bit. Oh, good. Alchemy level 3. Which also gives us access to iron production, and we are going through it a lot quicker than the first time, which is good, but my goodness, it's a lot to keep up with. At least we can purchase more logs and whatnot, and there we are completely out of money again. But small gears should sell for more than the large gears, and sure enough they do, a little bit. So let's put these on the shelves instead of the large gears, whoops. Or we could also put the ropes in there, and I forgot just how many small wooden gears can be added in there. But we do have more upgrade points we can allocate. So we can have the customers give more money, which I do like, and more firing efficiency for the catapult. But really, I think we just need more efficiency on the machines. And I guess we can get another shelf in here and then put rope on there, because the rope sells for 36 a piece. And as long as our flax production is good, we can manage that. Which, speaking of, it looks like we're just relying on money to research even further. Okay, the nursery's down here, so we don't have to worry about that quite yet. But eventually we'll be able to have much better automation for the flax. Now we're still working on that quest for the planks, which, how much do we have right here right now? We have enough, awesome. Good old money problem solved for 600. Not as much as I would like, but at least we get a wooden box. And more random quests that we have enough large wooden gears for. And we could take out a loan, but we've been there before, and I don't want to be there again. But at least someone's buying ropes, which is good. Although if we collect all these, I think we can just... Okay, we have 19 so far. gather up a few more of these, and then we easily complete the quest for a nice amount of money.
Nice.
And then the rest can go back to being sold, and it looks like our flax is ready to harvest too. Things are really moving here. We just gotta make sure they keep moving, and research more things, like the iron smelter to actually work the iron. Oh, a hopper conveyor. I think this is new, designed to catch thrown items. Let's get the smelter first, and there's a potion, also some linen and a workbench. But since we have the catapult research, let's get the hopper, and there's nails. And then lab stands too, because those are gonna be important. But the workbench, crafting and upgrading accessories. Oh, I guess there used to be an upstairs. Not anymore. Well, we might as well see what this workbench is about, and then get quite a few more things, I imagine, to build the iron production line. Like, actually, probably stone. So we're gonna need more stone, and a stone dedicated production line also, which actually shouldn't need much, just another crusher. But that limestone is expensive. And actually, I think we can move this to its own table and just have a table for building materials, kind of thing. So you go over there as much as possible, put the logs back, and then you go here, and then we copy that. And of course we gotta get the actual materials in there, which the limestone being so expensive is just insane. But at least we can do it. So we have steady production of both planks and stone. And the next quest is the healing potions, which we no longer have enough money to research, but that is gonna require a few more things also, like, what's that green stuff? Sage? I think that's what it needs. At least since we're making a bunch of stone, we can fulfill this random quest. Just, you know, gotta get all that stone in the first place. And already I would greatly appreciate those catapults and whatnot so I don't have to restock this myself. Which I guess we could technically make. Do we have the hoppers yet? There's the hopper, but that takes nails. But if we line up this table with the stands that we have, then we should be able to get a catapult for each of them. Hopefully they have the range. Oh, of course the target is too far. Fine, we'll just scoot the whole table closer then. It probably has to be here anyway. There we go. So we get catapults lined up for all of them. Now it's just a matter of getting the product to the catapults. Which, are these things level? I don't think they're quite level, but we don't need a lot of room here to get this going through. And do we have those lab stands yet? We do, but that also needs nails. So at least we got this box that can fill in the gap right here. And yeah, I can already tell from here that they are not level. So what that's gonna need is the elevating conveyors, which I think is just on its own thing. Z-axis up? I guess we can kind of do that. Or do we just get its own catapult to go up to here? That might be better, but there's no filter, so we would need so many catapults for all of them. At least these blocks seem to be stand-ins for the lab whatevers. Oh, I guess we don't have incline conveyor belts yet. Thankfully, that's an easy research. Okay, so now, if we do something like this, that doesn't work. There's the incline. Oh, that's very inclined. Wow. That's all the way from table to floor. Oh, that's awesome. You needed like 6 different pieces to make that work in the demo. Thankfully though, we don't need something that drastic. Just something like this, which I guess we don't need that block right there. Even better. Now for this, we're gonna need 3 different conveyors because there's 3 products going up there. Let's just get one going right now, and the ropes sell for the most. So you can be the lucky candidate. So we just get a steady line of rope going to the catapult. Well, almost. Now we just gotta wait a little bit for it to actually make it there, but look at all of that going up there. I feel like it might actually be better if we have like a storage box up here, so they can stock up there and then get launched to the thing without needing to necessarily like collect from the conveyor belt if we need more ropes. Oh, but they're reaching the box and yes! Catapulting all the way to this shelf. Oh, I love that so much. And it's just steadily going there. Mind your head. Maybe a catapult would be better over here, just so we don't have to, you know, spend so much on conveyor belts. But I think for out here, we are gonna need a hopper in that case. So can we start setting up the iron furnace and everything? We are gonna need a furnace, which is gonna need its own supply of wood and whatnot. Okay, first things first, we need a furnace. Is that gonna be better down here? Or should we stick it up on a table? I remember the setup I had last time, but I wasn't entirely satisfied with it. Also, I totally forgot about the random quest that we were doing for the stone and mortar, which it looks like we can do right now. And restock all of that. I think we need more wood, but thankfully that is complete for roughly 2,000 more coins. I would like to keep this contained to a table if I can, just because tables are easy to move around. So we get something like that going because we need room for the incline of this conveyor belt. And then an iron smelter is gonna need to go on top of this, which is a little tall, but it's something that we can manage, I think. Now we do have one piece of iron that we can throw in there. And actually, if the smelter is that tall, then this incline conveyor belt can actually reach up to it. Oh, very nice. But go the other way. There we go. Okay, so that's actually not so bad. So will this take anything that's flammable? Planks are fuel. Sure, let's just throw a bunch of that in there, just so we can get a little bit of iron ingots. Excellent. Maybe we don't need a conveyor belt going into there. Not right now, anyway. Now, we can make nails, which takes a processor. Actually, hold on, let's get a chest here, and then it can go to other tables. So, there we go, we're making iron nails, yes! That was a lot simpler to set up than last time. Also, I think this box is gonna need just a larger size. That's more like it, but wow, this went through that fuel quick. Oh, because it only stores 10, I see. So that's why logs are better fuel. Good to know. Is there anything else that we can use as fuel? I guess not yet. I guess this also needs an exit. So we will need a conveyor belt line going to this in order to keep it constantly fueled, which I think we can get this self-contained over here by setting in another table and then a catapult to go completely over there. And since we actually have nails being made now, we can create a hopper. I think that'll reach if we put the hopper like right here. Set target too far, of course. But we could shove you way over here. Invalid angle, of course. There we go. And now once we set this to go around to the catapult, now we have a steady supply of fuel going to the smelter, yes! As quickly as the catapult can fling them. Whoop, and the day is done. Thankfully, we're still in profit, which I think we had a customer waiting and then they left. Oh well. At least the ropes are constantly being fueled. Although I kind of worry that as quickly as this is, it's not quick enough for the smelter. It actually kind of is. Yeah, it's very slowly outpacing the burn rate. Oh, that's amazing. We actually have an automated smelting system. Kind of. Good enough for now. Which means we have all the nails in the world. Now we can set up whatever the workbench is, if we have more ropes. But now we can actually make some space-saving things like these lab stands that can go right over the conveyor belts, which I'm not sure why there's two different ones. Oh, this one's larger, I see. That would actually be helpful. One thing at a time though. So small gears need to go to this one, which is what the catapult is hooked up to. And we can just have these lab stands follow the conveyor belt entirely. So the ropes are like encaged. That's kind of cool, honestly. But it's tricky to get two inclines happening there. So we're gonna need you to be here, I think. And a lab stand be down here and tall. Yes! Oh, that's working! I see it, I see the vision. Just need a hopper. Which, can the hopper be contained on one of these lab stands? Oh, it can, good. Now please. Oh, it's too far. Can there be an upgrade for the catapults to throw further? Which of course we didn't get, but that was entirely for fire rate regardless. Well, if it can go here, that should work. Thankfully it can. And we could actually sell these iron nails, I guess. But so many things need them to be made, which I guess the catapults kind of do also. Or the ropes, I mean. Now, the next thing is healing potions, so we should research those and get everything else researched. The linen sell for a lot. That would probably be better for selling than the rope. Okay, now next thing we need is a box for the thing, but I want that to be elevated on lab stand also. Actually, this would probably work better, because then the box can go here like this, tiny lab stand there, and there it feeds in. So we can at least get that going with the catapult connected. Oh, yes! Oh, that's so good. Now we have a steady flow of small gears, which is probably gonna be outpaced very soon because my goodness, the customers go through those. So do the mortars. But then from there, the incline conveyor belt feeds down and then over. So now we have two products that are constantly being refilled. Although I feel like we honestly need like 2 catapults for the small gears. We honestly could do that if we just had one more rope. Where'd it go? Give me that. There we go. 2 catapults for the small gears. That is really satisfying to watch, honestly. And with the profits flowing so good, we should be able to keep all of this restocked as well. The problem is there's so many raw resources to keep track of. but as long as the funds keep flowing through, we can manage it. Now, there's only one more product we have to take care of here, and that's the mortars, which I don't think we need a catapult for. Just a few lab stands to get over all the nonsense. And I don't know if the lab stands are gonna be more efficient than the wooden blocks, but we can do that. I thought that was higher. Now there is the conveyor lifters as well, but I don't think we necessarily need those yet, especially because we're selling the ropes. But just like the small gears, we have conveyors going to the 2 catapults. Now we just gotta get all this connected across all of this. And there we go. All of the products that we're selling so far have a conveyor belt dedicated to them and a catapult. So that is entirely automated restocking, as long as the flax keeps up, which it kind of isn't. But we can research the bandage, which also takes potions. So we're not worrying about that yet. Okay, I did not realize how many mortars were stored up. This is a steady line here. Oh, I forgot about the box. Hold on. You're not doing this yet. There we go, now you can go through. And then they get launched, yes! This is beautiful. Also, what does it take to make linen? Maybe we can just change this. Okay, it's not the processor. What does that take? Linen thread at an assembler. I see. Do we have that? Oh yeah, we do. That should be an easy change, I think. Just get rid of this. Get this in. It does need 2 assembly belts, but I think we can do that. Sure. Ooh, and the flax is done. Yes, we can actually see this work. As long as we get all that rope is empty, but we can change this to linen because that's what we're selling next. Recipe, flax goes in, gets ground up into like a fiber. It gets processed, thrown into the line here, which I hope does, both entrances. How much does this need? 10? Oh goodness. Thankfully it gets that 10 in decent enough time, I guess. And away it goes. Do we even need a storage box here? I don't think we do. Now, this giant line here is why it would be good to have faster conveyor belts, but the storage here is working nicely. Here comes the linen rope through the box and onto the shelf. Yes! Now we're selling products that we hopefully don't need to sell anything with, and that should solve all of our money problems from this point forward. Plus, the occasional random quests that we get. And there's even more shenanigans with alchemy that we can get to in the future, like a purchasing portal. Input the required money to acquire the corresponding items. So we can actually buy materials that we need. Oh, and someone actually bought the linen. Awesome. And then drawbridges, pipelines, so much goodness. And this goes deep into the research. So if you guys do want to see more of Alchemy Factory, then be sure to let me know. Thank you very much for watching, and sub to Intern.